The 2014 International Environmental Health Day focuses on drawing government attention as this menace has a great correlation with life-threatening ailments.
The diseases that come from such non-collected wastes, malaria will be high in those areas. Over 70% of the diseases that are leading to hospitalization in Nigeria are preventable diseases. So if we want to wipe out those 70%, we'll need to take another look at what we are doing with the preventable disease and make sure that they are actually prevented. And when we do that, we'll save money for the federal government, we'll save money for the state government, we'll save money for the individuals, and productivity will be high. So our economy will be better off for it.
The health officers are therefore advocating that government at all levels must step up their policies on improved sanitation through the prompt evacuation of waste in their localities. In Abuja, Mayor Ogidi, NTA News.
A mandate to investigate the ineffective management of Nigeria's population and recommend strategies to address the anomaly has been given to the Committee on Population and National Planning by the House of Representatives. National Assembly correspondent Aishetu Zango Abdullahi reports on this and other legislative engagements at the House of Representatives.
Debating the motion on the ineffective management of Nigeria's population, moved by Representative Benila and 15 others, the members expressed the urgent need to address the pertinent issues of education, hunger, disease, unemployment, housing, illiteracy, and insecurity in the country in order to turn the population from a liability to a veritable asset.
Policymakers must develop an information-based approach for national planning.
The conference report on a bill for an act to provide a framework for the regulation, development, and management of a national health system. From the National Assembly, Aishatu Zango Abdullahi, NTA News.
Some challenges facing the media sector, including the deadline for digitization, license fees, and funding, have been presented to the Chairman, Senate Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Senator Oyinaya Abaribe, by the Radio, Television, Theatre and Arts Workers Union, Ratao. National Assembly correspondent Dennis Adegunloye reports.
President of the Radio, Television, Theatre and Arts Workers Union, Comrade Yemisi Bambushe, said that for media organizations to realize their fullest potential, there needs to be an increase in budgetary allocations.
In the last 8 years, the budgetary allocation has been dwindling, falling down, and that is why we are pleading that whatever you can do to assist us in this regard too, we will surely appreciate it, sir.
The Ratao president also called for a review of the laws governing radio and TV license fees, as well as funding of the digitalization project in order to meet the deadline. He appealed for an upward review of media workers' salaries and insurance cover for staff. Chairman, Senate Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Senator Oyinaya Abaribe, noted that the issue of license fees review has to go through proper procedures in accordance with the Constitution, and meeting the digitalization deadline is on course.
The process of digitization is not going to be something that is entirely out of our range to do. The question of funding and the creation of a law, as soon as they are ready with that, you can be very certain that this committee will do the needful.
On insurance, the chairman said all public sector workers are covered under PENCOM, and he enjoined all law enforcement agencies to continue in protecting media workers in hazardous situations. In Abuja, Dennis Adigunle, NTA News.
This is the news on NTA International, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria. We did report that Vice President Namadi Sambo has demanded support for Nigeria's unity as prayers are held for the 54th anniversary of the nation. Ahead on the news, trade volume between Nigeria and China rises to $11.76 billion. Stay with us.
In every way, our life don't be better. Shopee has ensured the reconstruction of the Abuja-Lokoja Road and the East-West Road in Port Harcourt.
The standard gauge rail tracks from Abuja to Kaduna and Lagos to Kano indicate that our trains are coming back.
The second Niger Bridge in the southeast and the local Oweto Bridge in the north-central are in progress, thanks to Shopee.
Shopee's mass transit program has made transportation easier for Nigerians.
Shopee has rehabilitated over 1,000 health centers across Nigeria.
Shopee has provided mama kits to pregnant women, and polio is on the verge of eradication.
Shopee has also ensured the provision of social amenities and through its various training programs for young people guarantees a better future.
Shopee, delivering service with integrity.
The organizing committee for the Independence Day Church service cordially invites all Christians to the interdenominational church service to mark Nigeria's 54th independence anniversary. Date, Sunday, September 28, 2014. Venue, National Christian Center, opposite Central Bank, Central Area, Abuja. Time, 3 p.m. prompt. Host, Pastor Ayo Orise Jaffo, President, Christian Association of Nigeria. Chief Host, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, GCFR, President, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Oh, come, let us bow before the Lord our God in worship that he may hear, forgive, and heal our land. Announcer, Comrade Abba Moro, Honorable Minister of Interior, Chairman, Church Service Committee.
Thanks for staying with us. For Nigeria to acquire the right innovation that can drive all sectors of the economy, there must be scientific and technological energy flow from the universities to the industries, as this will lead to domestication of existing technologies and utilization of science evolution capacity. This was the assertion by the Director General, National Office of Technology Acquisition and Promotion, NOTAP. Kirin Umayo reports.
By regulating technology transfer agreement in all sectors, NOTAP has ensured that of any foreign technology operating in the country, there is technical, financial, and legal protection for the nation. Through its regulatory functions, NOTAP has saved over 500 billion naira in the last 10 years by ensuring that remittances by foreign firms conform with stipulated financial regulations.
Today, we are consuming technology so heavily from outside Nigeria, and it is costing us so much, and therefore it became another platform of strategy to actually check the internal system of what actually is happening. Why can't we domesticate and also play a role in the provision of technology in our country?
A new digital device, Allo tablet technology for Almajiri education, was presented. Still at artisan level, the device will be relevant in teaching and learning when fully produced.
What I have done is that take this bit of the tablet, put a digital tablet into it, and now you put the Quran inside, digital Quran. You also put Arabic into it, but that's not the limit. You can now put English into it.
NOTAP has established intellectual property and technology transfer offices in 30 universities as a way to relate properly with the nation's knowledge centers. In Abuja, Kirin Umayo, NTA News.
The growing advocacy on government to clamp down on unemployment and insecurity in Nigeria has received a boost. The Nigerian Institute of Mechanical Engineers believes that industrialization holds the key to resolving the country's current challenges in both areas. Gufan Shaji tells us more.
Second annual general meeting of the Nigerian Institution of Mechanical Engineers, Abuja chapter. Institution believes that critical infrastructure are needed as a gateway to developing a viable, self-sustaining, dynamic and effective economy. But achieving that level of growth hinges mainly on a quantum level of effective industrialization.
For a nation to develop, such nation must move from a consuming nation to a developing nation, to a producing nation.
The chapter of mechanical engineers also believe that for an improvement in the quality of lives of the citizens, equitable and just distribution of engineering infrastructure and services at the rural level will help address the unemployment rate.
We should be able to ginger our development from the rural areas, because the bulk of us live in the rural areas.
if rural industrialization is encouraged, the youth at the rural area does not need to move down to the city.
Appropriate community-friendly engineering infrastructures and services are some of the strategies put in place by the institution to contribute their quota to industrialization in Abuja. Gufan Shaji.
A train-the-trainer workshop towards empowering women in Nigeria has ended in Abuja. The 3-day intensive training, a project of the National Center for Women Development, was organized in collaboration with the Japan International Cooperation Agency and SMEDEN. Chiazalam Mekie has details.
With about half of the world's population living on less than $2 a day, alleviation of poverty has become a big challenge to societies. To tackle this, there is a global campaign for the empowerment of women who constitute a large number of the world's population. Organizations are therefore suggesting the use of various to enhance economic development, which the National Center for Women Development and the Japan International Cooperation have identified as tools for empowering women, especially at the grassroots.
This training is a kind of critical part of the further empowerment of the women.
They were taught how to teach the other ones personal and business visioning, marketing, sales technique, bookkeeping, accounting, and how do they get loan from the bank.
Director General of the Center, Onyeka Owenu, commended JICA for building structures that will impact on the women folk.
These people who have been trained will now go forward to train the people in the field, the real people out there who are going to put to use this knowledge and this information to grow their small and medium-scale businesses. And of course, we know this is the very foundation of this economy.
A total of 16 trainers were involved. Some of them shared their experience.
What remains for us now is to simplify the training contents. You know, our level of understanding of the training will be different from the one at the grassroots level. So that is the next activity we are going to do now.
The training basically focused on enterprise development, which aims at making women self-reliant. Chiazalam Ekie, NTA News.
Trade volume between Nigeria and China in the first half of this year hits $11.76 billion. Internet to boost Africa's GDP by $300 billion, plus gold to experience first weekly increase this month. Edeago has details on business news.
Report says the volume of trade between Nigeria and China for the first half of 2014 stood at $11.6 billion. Nigeria's export during the period rose by 117.9%, higher than all the export from Nigeria to China in the whole of 2013. According to a report, Nigeria is currently the biggest export market for China and the third largest partner in Africa. More Chinese are beginning to regard Nigeria as a preferred investment destination. Research indicates that the internet can raise Africa's GDP by as much as $300 billion by 2025. The figure for 2013 stood at $18 billion. Nigeria's Minister of Communications, Dr. Omobola Johnson, remarked that the increase in number of mobile subscribers has fueled increases in mobile internet use in Africa, which is responsible for a mobile internet revolution. She acknowledged widespread predictions of a mobile internet revolution in the industry. Ede Aru, NTA News.
As American allied forces intensify their airstrikes on Islamic State, British MPs have approved Prime Minister David Cameron's request for the country to join in the war against the terrorists. And Australia signs a controversial refugee transfer deal with Cambodia. Here is Obiageli Ugoke with details.
Prime Minister David Cameron has held out the possibility of extending British airstrikes against the forces of the Islamic State, IS, claiming there were no legal barriers to a change in the mission. In a debate to approve British military action in Iraq, The Prime Minister warned that the campaign could last for years. He therefore suggested he would be prepared to extend the military campaign without the initial approval of Parliament in the event of humanitarian catastrophe.
If we allow ISIL to grow and thrive, there's no doubt in my mind that the level of threat to this country would increase. We've already seen ISIL murderers butcher innocent people in a museum in Brussels. We've already had plots here in Britain by ISIL. How much stronger will they be before we decide we need to take action as well?
In Australia, the Immigration Minister, Scott Morrison, has signed a memorandum of understanding that cements a plan for refugees who sought Australia's protection to be ultimately resettled in Cambodia instead. Under the agreement, Australia will use its expertise and experience to assist Cambodia to strengthen settlement support provided to refugees. Meanwhile, refugees have staged protests, saying they will all refuse to move to Cambodia in what they described as a cruel deal that will keep them in detention forever. Obiageli Ugoke, NTA News.
Now to sports, the crisis that rocked Nigeria Football Federation (NFF) in recent times will soon be history as Electoral Committee releases list of candidates for September 30 election. And it will be Chairs Gallo Supporters Club vows to praise Golden Eagles to victory against Gabon Saturday in Calabar. Details with Kene Emagbodike on Sports Update.
Nigeria Football Supporters Club is prepared to give maximum support to the Golden Eaglets when the Emmanuel Amuneke team confront their Gabonese counterpart in the Niger 2015 second leg final round African Under-17 qualifier Saturday at the UJ Eswene Stadium, Calabar. Golden Eaglets are faced with a must-win situation, having lost 1-2 in the first leg a fortnight ago in Libreville.
Members of the Supporters Club all over Nigeria are readily willing to be part of that game, and then we do everything humanly possible to support them to victory.
The Electoral Committee of the Nigerian Football Federation has released a list of 38 stakeholders seeking to occupy the 15 positions into the Executive Committee of the Nigerian Football Federation. 7 candidates are vying for the NFF presidency. They are Ogunjobi, Abba, Ume, Pinnick, Yofa, Diko, and Uchebulam. For the first vice president position, there are Inyama, Shehu, Akiwumi, and Mwazo. Some of the presidential aspirants have been speaking on their plans if elected.
Nobody have the experience and nobody know what is happening to Nigerian football more than me.
When I come in, by God's grace, I'm going to apply science, because if you apply science, you see the result coming.
The NFF election holds on Tuesday, September 30th in Warri, Delta State. Meanwhile, all the 7 presidential aspirants are to tell Nigerians what they will be doing if elected into office on September 30. The Sports Writers Association of Nigeria is organizing a debate for all the 7 candidates on Monday, September 29 in Warri.
It's about getting more sponsors, moving our football to the next level. That is what we want to hear.
Stakeholders have been arriving in Warri for the elective congress. With Sports Update, Keneima Bodike, NTA News.
And next is weather, and highlights is on major cities, temperatures from Nigeria and the world. The weather update concludes news on NTA International. Thanks for watching.